Hi everyone. You okay? So it's Tina here and Richard here from Star Property Group. Just thought we'd come on and do a bit of a quick live for our takeaways. So we both attended the virtual Tony Robbins UPW last weekend. It was over 4 days, wasn't it?
Yep, 55 hours total,
yep.
Over 4 days, so really long days, early in the morning till 9, 10, 11 o'clock the first night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 11 o'clock. Yeah, so we did 9 till 11 on day one. Yeah, it was, and we only had a half an hour break, so it was intense.
Full on first day.
Yeah, very full on. So the 4 days are kind of broken up, aren't they? So day one is what he terms his breakthrough day.
So Tony himself, well, I didn't realise, he did day 1 and day 3. But he has huge issues with his voice now. Apparently his vocal cords should be like as thick as your lip, and his are like as wide as a piece of paper. So he's seen all the specialists and stuff, and they've told him that he shouldn't be speaking for more than, was it 4 hours a day?
6.
6 hours a day.
6 hours a day. And I think he did 13 on the Friday with us.
Yeah, so and then he has a day off on the second day, and he's got some great trainers and stuff who do that day. Then he comes back and does the whole of day 3, and then day 4 is again all from his trainers. But so yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, you could tell as well that kind of last hour his voice was really
you do,
quite
his
going.
Voice deteriorating over the day.
Yeah, you do.
The biggest shock for me was I went into it. I love seminars and personal development and all that stuff, and I study it a lot. And I'm quite, I'd sit there with my journal and make notes and have a highlighter, and I'll highlight bits that I want to focus on and all stuff. And then, but I'm not into the jumping around and the high five. So I'm thinking. So I said to you at the start, didn't I? I'm going to take it all in and I'll make notes, and I'm engaged and I'm enjoying it. But I'm not going to jump around and do all that stuff. So I was like, and then within half an hour, day 1, I'm like, yeah.
And literally, you are up and down quite a lot. It does help with keeping your engagement as well.
Yeah,
so,
which is.
Yeah.
I think after like 2-3 hours, if you weren't up and increasing your energy, then you just fade.
And as you all saw, I took a video of the dancing. What great dancing it was!
So yeah. Just what you need from your sister, isn't it? Sneaky dance video.
Yeah, and then on day 3 I decided to add props, so I brought in the blow-up guitar and the blow-up microphone just to add more to it, so it was all good. But yeah, day 1...
so day 1's breakthrough day?
Yes. And you end...
Day 1 was like a deep dive into your values and beliefs.
Yeah.
And basically the things that hold you back, how you perceive them, and that basically they're all bullshit. They're all
language.
They're all BS. And it's just a real deep dive into that, isn't it? Really, day 1.
Yeah.
And then he calls it. Do you want to be in a beautiful state?
Yeah. Or
do you want to be in a state of suffering? And your own perception of things that happen to you, your reaction to things that happen to you, decides the emotion that you have, and that contributes to how you feel.
Yeah.
And then that drives everything. Your feelings drive everything.
Yeah. So like beautiful states are things like obviously happiness, joy, whereas your suffering states could be something like anxiety, frustration, can't they? So it's about trying to turn situations around to put yourself in what they term a beautiful state, so therefore you can make decisions much better with more clarity. But Tony believes that everything really comes back to fear, or our big limiting belief, whichever way you look at it, will come back to fear. Doesn't he really?
Yeah.
Whether it's the fear of not being good enough or anything, which if you think about it, it does, whether it's fear of rejection, fear of loss, and that's in any, not just in business, that's in your personal life as well, in all sorts of areas of life.
So the first part of the day and the first half of the day is a deep dive into that, and you kind of list out everything that you have to be really honest with yourself and list out everything. You get a work manual that you kind of make notes through. It's about loading up the pain, really, to start with, isn't it?
Yeah.
And loading up and writing out everything.
All your limiting beliefs.
All your limiting beliefs that you have, whether it be confidence, self-worth, I can't do it, it always happens for someone else, all that kind of stuff. And then the second part of the day, and also day 3, which is transformation day, day 1 is to obviously break through that.
So we had to break through a plank of wood.
Yeah, which we both did. I
took very seriously. Very seriously. I was very nervous. I've got my wood here, look, my wood. Hang on, there we go, look. Ta-da! I was very, very, very proud of myself for doing it. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but I did it in 1. Yes! So I was because not everyone did it, did they?
No, quite a few people didn't, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
Because throughout the day you get little 5-10 minute segments where you get put out into a break-off room, so you'll just be with random people. How many? There was like 15,000. Was it 15,000 people?
I think it was about 15,000. Yeah.
From all over the world, 169 countries. So you don't know who you're going to end up with, and then you can discuss all things that you're experiencing on that day.
Yeah.
And it was surprising how many people didn't break the wood, actually.
I know. But it is very powerful to do it.
So yeah, day 1 finishes with breaking the wood.
Yeah.
And then you've broken through those limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Day 2 is momentum.
Yeah.
So it's about carrying the power of what you've broken through forwards.
Yeah.
And how you can
bridge the gap, isn't
bridge
it?
The gap, yeah.
Where you are now to where you want to be. It's about bridging that gap and how you get from there to there. So you've broke through your limiting beliefs. So now it's pushing on to the next stage to get you to where you want to be. And he gives us different sorts of techniques, doesn't he? So one's about focus, where you put your focus, focusing on don't focus on the past, focus on the present or the future.
The thing is, we've all done seminars and trainings and then heard stuff, felt uplifted, felt good energy in the room, take away your notes and all that stuff, and then you go back into normal life kicks in, all the stuff that we have to do, family and all the other stuff, work, kicks in, and then you lose that momentum. So it was about putting a structure in that once you've made your breakthrough, that you stick to that, and then you can engage and incorporate that into your life on a daily basis, and then keep that as part of your regime.
Yeah. Keep
that momentum going.
Yeah.
So there's a real good structure to it, to be honest, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was about this is what you need to do, and this is how you can implement it into your life.
Yeah.
Which is probably a little bit different from other personal development stuff I've done in the past. That was really good.
Yeah. I liked he calls it the ultimate success formula, and he breaks it down into 5 bits. So it starts off with knowing your outcome, so knowing your end result, and getting clarity on that and being really specific. And then he talks about, obviously you've got to have a really strong reason why, because there are going to be tough times when you're trying to move forward. It isn't plain sailing. It never is in whatever you're doing. So what are you laughing at? Knowing your reason why. And then the next bit is take massive action. It's no good sitting in the seminars like Rich said. You've actually then got to put it into practice, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. And then the next bit is knowing where you're at, keeping track of yourself and measuring what you do, because if you don't measure it, you don't know if you ultimately need to change it, because that is the last little bit. It's basically, if something isn't working, don't beat yourself up about it, which is what I do all the time, and then just change it, adapt it, go in a slightly different direction, and then carry on. So yeah, that was, I find that really useful. So I've got that now, got that up on a board, which I keep looking at on you know. So yeah, I found that really good. And then
Day
day 3
was transformation day.
Yeah.
So,
I found that he did an exercise with us for quite some time, didn't he? Where you have to stand up and we put our little eye masks on, so you've got shut eyes, and it's kind of like through a meditation, and I would say using some form of NLP technique, I would think.
yeah, definitely.
And he gets you have to choose 3 limiting beliefs. And previous to this, we had to write down.
Your main 3, wasn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
We've all got like quite a few, I would think.
Yeah. You know, what would happen, how they make us feel, and that kind of thing before. And then when we're standing there, he takes you to I don't know how he does it really, but he takes you to this place of real pain, and it builds and builds and builds and builds, and it's so emotional.
It's very intense.
It's totally intense.
And that probably goes on for like 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, long time, wasn't it? Long build up.
Yeah, even now, thinking about where it took me to makes my stomach feel weird. I don't like it at all. But then once he's got you into that awful state, and it is, and there was a few children there, wasn't there? People who got children because they were at home. So he'd set up a little platform just for the children to get them in a different room, because he said this bit is so intense. I don't really want your children seeing you potentially upset, because it is quite upsetting. But then he takes you through it to the other side, doesn't he? As you know, the transformation is you go to this place of pain, and if you don't get to where you need to be, then he brings you out the other side to transform you to get you there. So then you've got all the joy and the elation. But it was a long process.
It was like load the pain.
Yeah.
And then, which was a real long build up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then get the gain, and then that was at least like half an hour, wasn't it?
I'd say it was a lot longer than that, I think.
Real high energy.
Oh yeah.
Intensive.
Yeah.
A lot of jumping around, wasn't it? And just emotional outpouring, really.
Yeah, it was. And it was, even though it was a virtual event, you could feel that energy almost coming through at you.
Yeah. I think it's the power of people. There were so many people on it, and you can. They bring it up on the screen very cleverly, so you can sort of see what other people are doing as well.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, wow, it's so really powerful, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was really powerful. So it was very, very good. That I found that bit really quite emotional, but very good. And then I didn't end up doing day 4, did I?
And you Skype.
It was my daughter's birthday, so obviously I had to take priority. I don't think she'd ever forgive me if I didn't have a birthday. So you'll have to go on about day 4.
Day 4 was called Vitality Day, so it's all about your physiology, really, and how that impacts your life hugely, and can impact your performance at work, down to your diet, exercise, how your body works, how it repairs itself, and how to keep yourself up in a high energy, in a high vibration. So it was all around that. There was a fantastic interview in the morning with Tony Robbins interviewing Sly Stallone, which was about 45 minutes, which was absolutely brilliant. Sly telling his story of Rocky.
We all love Rocky.
Yeah, well, that's one of
we all love Rocky.
Tony's things, and probably the most inspirational story in life is a comeback story.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was really good. And the thing is with Tony, he's such a high level guy, and he's been at this high level for so long. He only has top people involved in it, so he gets the top people from around the world. There was physicians on. Yeah. With the top people, we had top film stars and top business people giving little videos and talks. Yeah. So all the information you're getting is from really high level people.
Yeah. 43 years he said he'd been doing this.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Overall,
experience.
I was super impressed with it.
Yeah. Because we weren't sure, were we? With it being virtual.
No, I was very unsure, especially with it being very kind of American and very on your feet, jump around, high five, all that stuff, which isn't really me. but I was totally engaged in it. I really enjoyed it.
He did get into
I
it,
was
as you can tell
jumping
from the
around
video.
like a matchstick.
It's normally me that does that, not this one.
But it was good fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and
we'd recommend it.
I would recommend it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would recommend it to anyone.
I think to challenge your beliefs, especially your challenging ones, obviously, is really powerful, and this goes really deep into that.
It does go very deep.
And
I mean,
it's perfectly titled as "Unleash the Power Within." Is exactly what it does. Exactly what it says on the tin, as they say. So. Yeah.
I mean, at his live events, what you do on day one, obviously, is not the plank of wood. You do the firewalk on the hot coals. Obviously, you can't do that virtually, so he's changed it to go through the plank of wood.
I can only imagine what the atmosphere must be like in a stadium when you've got 12, 15,000 people in a stadium. The energy must be absolutely incredible. You must walk out of there feeling...
We now would like to do a live one.
Yeah, he does a lot of courses and different things, business mastery, life mastery,
he does.
Date with Destiny.
So
there's a lot of different stuff you can do at Tony's.
I definitely recommend it to anyone though.
Yeah.
It's all good.
There's some good offers around at the moment because a lot of them are virtual, so I'm not promoting. I don't get paid, unfortunately, by Tony to promote his stuff. But yeah, highly recommended. And there's some good offers on the virtual events and things at the moment, so they're not particularly super expensive to do. And
I mean,
really,
literally,
really
we could literally sit here for about 3 hours and go through. We've just really touched on some of the takeaways.
We've scratched the surface, really.
You know, he goes into morning routines.
My other takeaway is if you're going to do it, especially virtually, is just put the time aside for doing that.
Yeah.
Don't try and involve work too much in your day or distractions like family and stuff. Just try and put the time aside, and you need 12 hours a day. Yeah, you do. For the 4 days, and throw yourself into it. And I think it's super beneficial to do.
Definitely. Hi,
Very
Steve.
good. So,
okay.
Yeah, hope that helped.
Hope you're all having a lovely day anyway, and have a lovely weekend. And we'll catch you all next week. Bye.
See you guys.